Hey guys, it's Liana. I am a community manager over at Bungie on Destiny 2, and this is very clearly not my usual format. I'm also even using my hand, so shaking, sorry. But I am actually here in San Francisco for GDC, which is, for anybody that may not know, is a game developers conference where you got game devs, early and career folks, media, they all come together under one roof to learn some cool shit and share some awesome knowledge. A lot of you guys that follow me know that I am very passionate about accessibility work and have worked in accessibility for many years now. And I am also a co-lead of the accessibility initiative over at Bungie as part of, as part of our commitment to just making our game as playable for as many people as we can. A little bit harder for an older engine, and it's much harder to do those types of changes once a game is out versus in pre-production, but we're happy the conversation's happening. We're happy that so many studios are doing that as well in their own work on accessibility. We also have seen just lots of leaps and bounds in this. God of War is a great example. Last of Us, even Diablo 4 has some incredible options as well. And so it's just nice to see it become more commonplace. And with the format of GDC, it is you are going to different panels where basically we're just sharing knowledge. Knowledge is best when it's shared. And I went to a really great one with some of the folks from Xbox that run that Xbox accessibility initiative, and hearing their talk was amazing because, one, it was very validating because with the work I'm doing as both a contractor elsewhere, as a consultant, not a contractor, consultant, and the work I'm doing here at Bungie as accessibility co-lead is very much reflected in that, meaning we are on the right path. We're doing good things. We're making good time. They were sharing their timelines for things like, there was 3 years to create the design of the adaptive controller because they wanted to make sure it was exactly what players with accommodations need, not versus a guesstimate of what they think they want. And I admire that greatly. And Sony's now coming up with their own adaptive controller, and it's just, there's so many amazing things out there now that accessibility is actually being talked about like a worthy subject, because it is. And I just wanted to just share that. I mean, I know I can't really go into a whole lot of details just because I don't have my notes in front of me, and it's been a very long last couple of days, very early morning wake-ups, very late night check-ins, but just talking about how it's not just about one player. Not only do you have players with accommodations, but you have, just like you have with the most looked at market in games, is you have varying degrees of players. You have the hardcore, you have the casuals, you have the people that come back after a long period of time. And you have that within the disability community as well. And you also just have players that are never actually played anything before because they've never had games that were available to them, and now they are. So they might not be aware of the mechanics that we usually know of, FOV slider, things like that might sound completely alien to somebody that is very new to video games. So seeing them drive that point home and seeing other studios and even studio heads in that audience was very inspiring to me, because I've been talking about this as media for so long, and it was only until I believe it was Black Ops 3 that I'd started to gain traction with my voice in that conversation, as the entire conversation industry-wide continued to grow. And then of course that escalated with Cyberpunk, but still major props to how that team handled it. It was handled with grace and care, and it was great. So to be sitting in an audience and just see how open people are about it versus even just a couple of years ago where the common response was, there's no money in accessibility. Just stupid. And if anybody ever says that, you're stupid and wrong. But I can make another video for that if you want. Another just point they were talking about is the different ways you can utilize your community. But of course, that requires a lot of trust because, again, like I said earlier, you have to do, oh man, I'm already spacing. It's been such a long day. You have to like we said, you have to have it in pre-production to be the most effective with a lot of the bigger overhauls to the systems. And that's really hard to do if you have a community that you're wanting to bring in, because that is, obviously NDAs have been broken many times in the past. A lot of folks don't like to pay attention to those for some reason, and there's a huge risk with that, but there's a huge reward to it as well, because you can have the voices of the people that you are trying to help in the room with you, building that ground up versus having to make a bunch of retroactive changes. And I think that's really cool. And I think that this is a point that many of us have been driving home for many years, and to see it actually starting to stick is beyond incredible. Like, I was tearing up many times just listening to the presentation, and just how familiar all these conversations are and how new the conversations are for so many others. And it's fucking cool. But yeah, GDC is going great. It's really fun. It's been a while since I've seen a lot of my friends pre-pandemic, and to meet the faces of the friends that I made during the pandemic. I don't think I've ever given so many hugs in my life, but I would do it all over again, because game devs are magical. And thank you for giving us these stories that have helped us in some of our most incredibly trying times, and also just in our most celebratory times. You rock, devs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to do this. I might not even post it. We'll see. But just wanted to do this because it was heavy on my noggin, and I really enjoyed the talk, and I got a lot out of it. And yeah, so stay tuned, because that conversation is going well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry I look like ass. Today's my lazy day with how I look. Sorry. But appreciate you watching this if you're still here, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.